What's going on, everybody? I know we usually are going to music festivals and concerts, but I wanted to do something a little bit different today and take you guys in my home, show you a little bit more about me, and help you guys learn a little bit more about festivals. Today we're going to be talking about Ultra Music Festival and a bunch of things that I wish I knew before going, and helpful tips for you if you're going to be going next year. I just got back from Ultra and it was an absolutely spectacular experience. I surprised my girlfriend Jessica there, and it was just absolutely amazing. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and let's get into it. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is that the lineup is always completely stacked. If you think that EDC is a good lineup, if you think that Electric Forest is a good lineup, just wait until you look at Ultra Miami, because it is absolutely insane. This year they had so many big artists. I'm going to insert a little picture of the lineup right here so you can see. But I was just absolutely, completely mind blown when I saw this lineup. I only went for one day. I went on Sunday in order to surprise Jessica, but I think that if you guys were there for all 3 days and if you made the most out of Friday this year, even though it kind of got rained out, you were so happy because you got to see so many artists that usually don't get to play at the same fest together. So I don't know how they afford it, but it's an insane lineup. So as you guys can see from the lineup right there, I absolutely got my money's worth, even though I only went one day. It was like 5 or 6 headliners all playing on Sunday night. And usually Sunday is like a little bit quieter, it's a little more chill vibes, but not at Ultra. So going right off that, my next tip for you guys is that the lineup is so stacked that there's always good music playing. So if you start to get tired, if you start to get bored of the person you're seeing right there, go walk around, go move your feet a little bit. There's always another stage playing music that I'm sure you'll enjoy. They have a bunch of different genres represented at Ultra. So whether you like dubstep, techno, drum and bass was really, really heavily represented this year. There was some rhythm, there's some trance. There's something for everybody. So you gotta just check it out, enjoy it, and keep your feet moving. So going off that, the lineup is so stacked that there's always going to be music playing at another stage. If you don't feel like you're vibing with the stage that you're currently at, I suggest you just keep your feet moving, keep wandering, keep exploring, because there's gotta be a stage that's playing something you'll enjoy. I would suggest just wander as much as possible. So another interesting thing I learned about Ultra was that it's actually kind of a later fest. It doesn't really start music right at noon like some fests like EDC. But if you happen to get there early like I did on Sunday, you're definitely going to be able to explore, wander, and take good pictures before a lot of people get there. And that was really exciting for me because as a YouTuber, it's nice to be able to kind of see the stages, see the layout of the venues, and kind of get the whole lay of the land before everybody starts getting there and it gets super crowded. Because once it gets super crowded, the stages are a little bit harder to navigate. And honestly, Ultra, it's a pretty crowded festival. There's a ton of people there. But if you get there early, you'll be sure to make the most of what the Ultra has to offer. All right, now the next tip, it's not so much a tip as it is kind of like a bit of bad news, but there's not a lot of places to sit down. So if you're someone who's either needs to rest, maybe you were raging too hard the night before, bring something to sit on, maybe like a blanket or a towel, because there was not very many places to sit. So if you're needing that, I love to dance, I love to always be moving. But I know a lot of people like to kind of chill and vibe out with the music, and Ultra, since it is so crowded, it didn't really have a ton of places for you to kind of hang out and just chill. But that being said, there's a couple stages where you can get some nice sitting, you can get some nice seats, and if you're one of those people, then you'll find those spots. But like I said, there's not a ton of places to sit down. My next tip for you guys is don't freak out, because there are going to be conflicts. You're not going to be able to see the whole set of somebody if there's another person playing that you also want to see. So if you're like me and you got Nora and Pure playing at the same time as Disco Lines, you're going to have to make a choice. And that's okay. I mean, that's a great thing. If there's so many good artists that you want to see at this festival, then make the most of it, wander, and try and enjoy as much of each set as you can. I'm sure this isn't a problem every year, but this year it was definitely a problem because there was a lot of rain. And the weather in Miami can obviously be rainy, it can storm, it can thunder, and it's gonna impact the music a little bit. So as much as people didn't want it to affect them, unfortunately the rain can't be controlled. So I would suggest bring some footwear, some boots, something that you don't mind getting totally wet, totally destroyed. I know Jessica, she came home and she had to throw out her boots because they were just absolutely demolished. So like I said, you can't really predict the weather in Miami, but I would expect there to always be a little rain. So if you can, try and prepare for that as well. There's a lot of flooding and the ground was really, really, really wet. And if you took a step, you would have definitely ruined your shoes in certain places, and it actually smelled like shit. So just keep that in mind. If you're someone who needs to be dancing like me, you might want to bring some extra shoes. The next tip I have for you guys is about parking. And because Miami is a city, it's got lots of less parking available because it's already so crowded in Miami. But expect to pay about $20 to $50 in parking depending on where you go. If you park really, really close to the fest, you're probably looking closer to $40, $50. If you don't mind walking a little bit more, maybe half a mile to a mile, you can pay anywhere from $20 to $30. I found somewhere for about $20 and I had about a mile walk, but I love walking, so it wasn't a big deal to me. However, if that's something that you don't want to have to deal with, make sure you either get there really early or you're going to pay a prime parking fee. So just a little heads up. Believe it or not, even though there are so many big headliners, the music at Ultra stopped pretty early. I think that the last sets are supposed to end around midnight due to the ordinances in Miami. But I know that because of the canceled Friday and they kind of turned off the music for a lot of Friday, had to send some people home, they actually stayed open extra late Saturday. I wasn't there, but they did stay open extra late Saturday. They let some extra headliners play. And then Sunday, of course, they ended around 12:30, but you make the most of your festival. And my last tip for you guys is about Ultra Music Festival TV. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Ultra actually puts all of their sets, I think all their sets, maybe not all of them, but most of their sets on TV, and you can watch them live. You can wave to your friends if you happen to have someone back home who couldn't make it with you to go to the fest. So while Jessica was there the first 2 days, I was watching the live feed from Ultra, seeing all my favorite artists that I wasn't fortunate enough to be able to go see, but she was there enjoying it and I was keeping an eye out for her, and it was really fun to be able to watch all the performances live. Another bonus for Ultra was the layout. I thought it was super easy to navigate. All the stages were really close together. So if you were at one stage and you wanted to switch to a different stage, the maximum amount of time it would take you to get from one stage to the other was about 5 minutes, where at some fests it could take you 20, 30 minutes just to get from one stage to the other because of 1, the crowds, 2, the layout, or 3, maybe you're just tired. But at Ultra, everybody's moving, everybody's grooving, the crowds are always gonna be nice, people are so friendly, which is kind of surprising because I thought that Ultra had a kind of a more college, more city vibe, but I was totally wrong. Everybody was there for the music and they were there to enjoy the vibes of the people around them. So I couldn't have been more happy with my Ultra experience this year. If you guys went to Ultra, I'm kind of curious what your experience was like. So please comment that down in the comments below. But besides that, I appreciate everything that you guys have to offer. So if you have any advice for me, please feel free to leave that in the comments as well. And so I know this video was super short, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about Ultra since I just got back. And so in conclusion, I had a really, really, really great time at Ultra. Even though I just went for 1 day, it was totally worth the money I paid. I would totally suggest you guys go to Ultra next year if you have the opportunity. And I hope to see you guys at a fest soon. I'll be going to Soul Fest. I'll also be going to Bonnaroo and Electric Forest. So if you guys are going to any of those fests, please hit me up and let's try and meet up or something. I really appreciate you guys being here. I love getting to know you guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Ken. Peace out.